Hey, hello everybody. Welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing fantastic and that you're all having an incredible day. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. In the cryptocurrency space has a really weird thing with news that becomes popular more than other news that should be popular news. In a recently leaked internal announcement, Robinhood Markets, the popular online brokerage firm, reportedly plans to lay off approximately 150 employees, equating to about 7% of its total workforce. For whatever reason it might be, I still am not able to figure it out. The cryptocurrency space has a really weird thing with layoffs. We first started seeing this in, I think, even the end of 2021, as we were getting waves of inflation might be too high, markets might be coming down, the idea of interest rate hikes, what have you. Every time that there's been some kind of a lightly cryptocurrency related job layoff, company not doing well, not bringing in the money that they were before, it ends up being the most popular news within the cryptocurrency space. The move signifies the third wave of job cuts the company has undertaken in just over a year, reflecting its ongoing adjustments to fluctuating market conditions as per an internal message obtained by the Wall Street Journal. Robinhood CFO Jason Warnick stated that the layoffs were part of a plan to adjust the volumes and to better align team structures, meaning they are trying to spend less money and therefore the people who are on certain teams are going to be laid off. The company's spokesperson has not issued any statement to confirm or deny the layoffs, but asserted the firm continuously strives for operational excellence. The statement reads, "We're ensuring operational excellence in how we work together on an ongoing basis. In some cases, this may mean teams make changes based on volume, workload, or design, and more." Apparently, once again, this is one of the most popular news stories out there. I do not know if it is simply because people like layoff news. Maybe it makes them feel better about their current working situation. I still haven't figured it out, but for those of you not looking at the screen, I don't have every tab up here, but understand that there are a multitude of tabs. Robinhood cuts staff again as trading volume and engagement dwindles. Robinhood lays off 7% of its full-time employees. A number of companies have been doing this. It is usually, nearly always, just to appease shareholders. One of the ways you get people who are invested in your company to be happy is by saying we fired a couple hundred people, and therefore the company's money that they will be making by the end of the year will be boosted lightly because we're now with less full-time employees. A number of crypto exchanges, a number of other, you name it, they have lower trading volume right now because we are going through this really weird isn't it going to move type of thing within the cryptocurrency space. If you've been watching the last couple of videos, I made sure to show you all the news that we were getting from these larger analysts and or people in general, all explaining or stating that they believe that the cryptocurrency market is about to explode parabolically, moon, money, and all these other things. But until we get to that point, the layoffs and let-goes will continue to happen. But, you know, at least the optimism is there as far as the Fed not raising interest rates, at least now, and maybe potentially freezing it for the remainder of the year. That's sure, people got laid off, and it was for some reason very popular news because that's how the cryptocurrency space works. And yeah, let's move on. Also in why was this so popular news? Leading Bitcoin mining company Riot Platforms has purchased another 33,280 machines that mine Bitcoin. That's a real number, 33,000 machines at a cost of $162.9 million for its facility within Texas. The U.S.-based mining firm released a press statement announcing the deal. It states that the mining rigs obtained from mining producer MicroBT will increase the firm's self-mining capabilities by 7.6 exahashes. Riot Platforms CEO Jason Les, that is L-E-S, said that once the machines are implemented in the first quarter of next year, its self-mining capacity will rise to 20.1 exahashes. I assume that's an enormous number. If you're buying 33,000 machines, I just can only assume exahashes is an enormous number. He also stated that immersion cooling systems are part of the rigs, such as those used in the company's Corsicana location. He said these new models are among the most powerful and efficient miners ever made for Bitcoin mining and are designed and produced specifically for immersion cooling systems such as those that will be used at our Corsicana facility. These new machines will contribute an additional 7.6 exahashes, self-mining, yada yada, money. So, in another unsurprising turn of events, while not the most, for me, I don't know what everyone else is doing in their lives. It is very difficult for me to say what is and what is not fascinating with other people, simply because, I find weird stuff fascinating as well. I'm very much into history. So there's definitely people out there who are very into the news that this company is buying more crypto mining equipment. I don't know if it's because they like crypto mining themselves. I don't know if this is popular news because people like the word exahashes. I haven't figured it out. But once again, an enormous amount of articles. Riot Platforms to add 33,000 Bitcoin mining machines ahead of the 2024 halving. Bitcoin mining firm Riot secures 33,000 new rigs for $162 million. Riot Platforms double down on mining. So it's cool. After going over news every day for the last 75 years, I think I've said the word Riot Platforms maybe just in this video. I don't remember ever saying Riot Platforms. I don't know if people are confusing them with the people who made League of Legends. But maybe that could be it. Maybe a lot of people saw the word Riot and they were like, oh my gosh, they're into crypto now. But I think this is another company. So I'm glad that they have the money to buy more machines and that they plan on mining more before Bitcoin's halving. That's as far as I've gotten in my quest for answers. That's the Riot Platforms is buying 33,000 new Bitcoin mining machines. Fantastic. And yeah, let's move on. Also sure, why not? Apparently there's a lot of news around what Dubai is currently doing. For those of you not looking at the screen, it says Dubai is launching a crypto regulatory arm to become a global financial power. I think a large number of countries have realized that the one country in particular is taking a very long time to bring out cryptocurrency regulations, and I think they all smell crypto in the water, as it were, realizing that they can have a top spot within the space as long as they kind of make moves very quick. Also news about Abu Dhabi. There was another important issue. Apparently it's number 5 in the rankings when it comes to people moving there specifically for cryptocurrencies. It says the biggest names in crypto seem to be gravitating to Dubai, the largest city in the UAE, the United Arab Emirates. Binance co-founder Changpeng Zhao and He Yi have made it their home. Really? Okay, wow. Coinbase's Brian Armstrong has met with regulators, and WazirX, one of India's largest exchanges, is moving its headquarters there. That was because of, for those of you who missed it over the last couple of years, India kept on threatening to ban crypto. It was like a weird 3-month cycles. They would say that they were going to ban it, and they weren't going to ban it. And they said anyone using crypto is in trouble, and then they kept on saying, oh no, actually everyone can use it. So I don't blame them for moving to a country that has just simply given them an answer. Are we legal or not legal here? Can we do business here? It seems Dubai's master plan to enter the top echelon of global financial centers. Joining New York, London, and Hong Kong is working. New York isn't too hot when it comes to cryptocurrencies because the whole country doesn't have a lot of cryptocurrency rankings. London also isn't that high. I keep hearing that London is a crypto hotspot, and I've personally seen more crypto activity and companies within Portugal and Germany. And also, there's also, if you've ever walked around Spain, if you ever walked around Barcelona, there's an enormous amount of cryptocurrency companies, a lot more than in London. It's because the other places have much lower taxation and also have proper cryptocurrency rules. The UK still doesn't have proper cryptocurrency framework. They're also like, they've told people like how you will be taxed with it, but there is no actual X, Y, and Z. Like even a year and a half ago, they were still getting companies in trouble for like making advertisements on like bus stations and stuff like that. I wonder why I keep hearing London when it's actually not the complete truth. So yeah, for some reason this was also relatively popular. That apparently a lot of people are moving to Dubai. I told you before, it just makes a lot of sense. First of all, for those of you who don't even know the history, I'll give you like a drop of it. Dubai and a bunch of other places within the UAE started getting wealthy or rich or money in the late 80s and or 90s based off of petrol. And they realized very quick that they had to kind of pivot at some point in the future to make sure that their economies thrived and survived. And this is what they've been doing for the last 10 to 15 years. And it's basically making sure that money continues flowing into their borders. How do you do this? Well, you initiate an income tax rate of 0%. Yeah, that's literally as simple as it gets. If you ever get a chance, watch some documentaries. I mean, there's a whole facet of things about that country, but one of the more economic ones is the fact that people move there to literally keep the money that they made. And then they use that to push into other investments, therefore getting richer themselves. And they use that money to buy other investments, and it kind of continues going down. So, yeah, probably going to be a major leader in finance for a very long time, as long as we have financial markets. So, wonderful. Cool. Apparently, Dubai is rank 5. I would love to see the actual like reasons for these rankings, because I have a feeling London's on that list, and I really... yeah, I read a lot of news and stuff like that as well, like even outside of crypto, and I know how economies are actually doing and like where the money around the world is flowing. Not like, internally, like I'm not like sitting at, the table with the guy at the end who's like draped in shadows, like, stroking his hairless cat, but it's like I just read to see like where the actual money trends are and like where people are buying property and where, anyway. That's the Dubai news. Cool. Money is flowing to a place where there's already tons of other money. The people who are in that country, they just know how to make money, so they'll continue doing it. And wouldn't you know it, it's just simply by giving cryptocurrency regulations. Surprise, surprise, surprise. That's the Dubai and I guess Changpeng Tao news. I'm not really sure. Okay. Let's move on. Also in what are you talking about? Circle's co-founder and CEO, his name is Jeremy Allaire, expects the new wave of Bitcoin ETFs or exchange-traded funds to be approved as past concerns of regulators are being addressed. He said, "I believe progress is being made with more mature market structures that would support something like that. You have mature spot markets, well-regulated custody infrastructure, and good market surveillance. Many of the past concerns are being addressed, suggesting that these kinds of products are more likely to be approved for general investor access." The news of the Bitcoin ETFs that are currently standing in line trying to get approved by the US SEC is quite staggering. I hope that we are in reality all together at the exact same time. It seems more than likely that BlackRock is going to get approved, but the SEC has a track record of denying every other Bitcoin ETF application since around 2013, with I think around 30 plus of them being denied. However, following with the news of higher ups in crypto who are rich, is literally a category of rich people who continuously come forward to talk about what they expect to happen. The idea is that as we get closer to the halving and any idea of BlackRock's Bitcoin exchange traded fund being approved by the US SEC, prices will continue to rise. A lot of the things that we heard years ago from the SEC as far as why they could not allow a Bitcoin ETF, I believe were down to heavy levels of not only corruption, but they kept on saying they didn't want the market to be manipulated. That was one of the main things. And the problem is that every time that they rejected, the SEC rejected a Bitcoin ETF, prices would drop dramatically. And every time that we got a hint that something good might happen within crypto from the SEC or like regulations, the prices would rise. So they were the active ones manipulating the price. But of course, no one talks about that. So that's the rich guy talking about, they're going to be approved. I have and I'll be honest with you, about 12% hope. I know that's a very exact number. It's not 15. It's not 10. It's definitely higher than 11, but it's not more than 13. I think 12% that this will definitely be pushed through, as in BlackRock will get their ETF. But the fact that we've seen blatant outright corruption from the SEC over the course of the last year and a half, before it was questionable, but now it's quite, oh, they're definitely bad kind of thing. I'm also I would rather be on the word's not pessimistic, but more realistic side that these people are probably trying to wait for some other company to do it. But then you think the other company that I would think that they're waiting for is BlackRock, and BlackRock is the one who filed the application. So we'll see. I forgot what the deadline is for the SEC ETF approval. I think it's normally 2 or 3 months. I have to check it after this video. There's a certain timeline for it. So, we will see. Yeah, that's the Circle CEO, Jeremy Allaire. Expects the Bitcoin ETFs to be approved. There's I think 5 or 6 of them in line right now. We'll see. And yeah, let's move on. Also in I Don't Believe It news, Bitcoin and the tech-heavy NASDAQ 100 have hit their lowest correlation in 3 years, indicating a possible decoupling is in the works, according to a new report from Kaiko Research. That is Kaiko Research. The last 2 or 3 years have been very weird in that when I got into crypto, there was not and yes a correlation between Bitcoin and the stock market. Generally, if we saw in the cryptocurrency space that the stock market was going down, cryptocurrencies tended, more so Bitcoin, tended to move up in price. Why, you might ask? If there was a significant world event or something crazy happening in the news, and the NASDAQ would respond to it, especially if it had to do with finance or money, or a bank collapsing, or a country not doing well, or inflation hitting somewhere, or people not having access to their bank account. These are all things that took place around the 2010s. We would see Bitcoin move up quite rapidly in price, almost overnight, up by 12, 13, 14, 15%. Those were the more you went, but before a lot of you probably got into crypto, you would hear about how volatile Bitcoin was. Those were the days. It was the something bad is happening in the economy, and Bitcoin would move upward on its own, dragging the rest of the market with it. When Bitcoin would tend to slam down, as if that news of economic despair tended to float away or was changed to another news topic, Bitcoin would no longer react, and people within the community who used to have the mantra that Bitcoin was the inflation hedge kind of would, dissipate until the next historic event would pop up. However, over the last 2 or 3 years, every time that the stock market moved, Bitcoin would move. Every time the stock market would slam down, like in 2020, crypto did the exact same thing. If the stock market was euphoric because there were trillions of dollars being printed that were being pushed into the stock market, Bitcoin would also react as well. So we've kind of gotten used to this world where Bitcoin no longer stands on its own. Of course, this can change, but I think we're living in a brand new world where if you look at the majority of the news that we keep getting about the people who are actually in crypto now, and I air quote here, who control crypto, who control the prices, who are the market movers and makers, it's not someone who's buying 0.02 Bitcoin. It's one of these people who own, 75,000 Bitcoin, 13,000 Bitcoin. They have the money, them and their friends, to coordinatedly, not a word, move the market at their behest, however they choose to do so. In the last month or so, because of the SEC's movements, there's been a lot of news that Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency market are no longer as correlated as they used to be. I think it's something that's going to come to pass. I don't expect that this is going to be a very long-term thing. I expect as long as the world markets begin to do well again and money is sloshing. When you have trillions of dollars moving from one market to another and people are, getting bored with one market, they move their money into another one. It's kind of the domino effect of the world that we have right now. Usually they're like higher money markets, and then you have like the stock market where money moves around, and then you kind of get into I guess you would go from stocks into real estate, and then when you from real estate, you have money that kind of sloshes into crypto, and from cryptocurrencies, and it falls down into other markets, kind of like collectibles or like NFTs and stuff like that. And this is why we saw such a major movement in 2021. It's kind of based off of if you don't have enough money to buy a home, well, you get into stocks. If you don't have enough money to get into stocks, you start looking for alternative ways to get like quicker money, and crypto tends to be that way. We're not moving up by 7% a year. We're usually moving up by 38% per month, depending on the coin. If you can't get into that, you get into NFTs or you get into collectibles. This is why you saw a couple of years ago the Pokemon card craze once again reappeared, and people were buying cards for astronomical amounts. But yeah. It says simultaneously the cryptocurrency and gold market hit the highest correlation in several years last week, with both assets rallying in 2023. Kaiko, a financial markets data provider, reported that the correlation between Bitcoin and the Nasdaq collapsed to just 3%. The Nasdaq tracks the performance of the largest and most active traded non-financial companies listed on the Nasdaq Stock Exchange. You might remember my hyper confusion when all of this was beginning to happen, because under the news that we heard that world markets were collapsing, and usually air quote, the answer is Bitcoin. Bitcoin also fell with it, I guess out of generalized fear. But the last 3 years have kind of taught me something, and I've thought this for a while, but I think the market is just controlled now, like every other market is controlled by major players. It's not to say that it's not a negative thing, but it's more of our market has become so big that it's also just ruled by the big boys now, who at some point want to make more money, and then markets ended up skyrocketing, so we are able to profit from it. But I feel like the old days of crypto and Bitcoin are long, long gone. Yeah, just a generalized thing that I kind of feel. A lot of the market is definitely, there's some kind of, it's not even an invisible hand. I think the hand is definitely very visible at this point. We can kind of see where it's moving or what it plans on doing. And this will only be finally, reconfirmed if in 2024 markets are pumping again. In 2025 markets are doing the euphoric phase. That will definitely tell me once again that the market is kind of in control of some larger force. But every market is. I was discussing that with people here before, and a lot of people were like a little annoyed at the idea of being in a market that's controlled. The silver and gold market are controlled by banks. The real estate market is controlled by an AI that's used by BlackRock. It's called Aladdin. Like every market in some sort of way, when you have enough money to push around into a market, you are able to then control it. And I think our market's controlled by several thousand heavyweights who kind of dictate where prices are going to go next. That's once again just my feeling. I don't know if this is the truth, but if you've been here for the last 3 years, you know what I'm talking about. I think that's going to do it for this video. I do sincerely hope that you have all enjoyed. I do hope you all are having a great day. Great morning, great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever the heck you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and or supporting. Yeah, that makes sense. Here we go. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.